The Colossus of Prora, once an ambitious project by the Nazis, is now at the heart of a fascinating historical debate. Situated on the picturesque island of Rügen, northern Germany, this enormous structure, built in the 1930s, has undergone a transformation from a symbol of totalitarian power to a modern luxury resort. Its controversial past and uncertain future make it a subject of discussion, not just for history enthusiasts, but also for urban planners, architects, and even tourists looking for an unusual experience. Let's explore the complex journey of the Colossus of Prora, its dark history, and its even more complex present, the seaside resort that almost was. In the early 1930s, Germany was under the rule of Adolf Hitler and the National Socialist Party, which sought to control every aspect of the lives of its citizens, even their leisure activities. Enter Kraft, durch, Freude, the Nazi Party's program designed to offer affordable vacations to workers. This was not just about fun in the sun, it was about aligning the German populace with the ideals of the Nazi regime. What better way to do this than to provide a massive holiday resort that would be both a paradise and a propaganda tool? In 1935, the task of constructing such a monument to state power fell to Robert Ley, head of Kraft, durch, Freude, who ordered the construction of what would become the Prora complex. It was designed as a massive seaside retreat that could accommodate tens of thousands of people at once. The goal was to immerse vacationers in a controlled environment that promoted Nazi ideals while offering them a taste of luxury. What could go wrong? Construction and ambition on an enormous scale. Prora was designed to stretch 4.5 kilometers along the coastline, with 8 massive blocks each housing 2,500 rooms for a total of 20,000 guests. The complex was intended not just as a resort, but as a monumental symbol of Nazi power, with features like communal bathrooms, concert halls, and an observation tower. Each block, 6 stories high and 550 meters wide, showcased architectural grandeur with reinforced concrete. Construction began in 1936, involving nearly 9,000 workers, many forced laborers, with a cost equivalent to $900 million today. However, the outbreak of World War II in 1939 halted the project, and by 1945, only half of the blocks were completed. The grand vision for a seaside resort was left unfinished, and the Soviets took control of the site after the war. The Prora complex after World War II. A new beginning. After the war, Prora's fate took an unexpected turn. The Soviets, who occupied East Germany, repurposed the unfinished structure for military purposes. It became a secret military facility, with the beach fronting the complex turned into a minefield to keep people away. The building was erased from maps, and its dark history was buried under layers of secrecy. For decades, the complex was essentially forgotten, its legacy as a Nazi propaganda project overshadowed by the Cold War and the division of Germany. In 1990, following the reunification of Germany, the island of Rügen became a point of focus for revitalization. The Prora site, with its prime coastal location, was a potential goldmine for developers looking to re-establish Rügen as a popular tourist destination. And this is where things get really interesting. The debate begins: demolition or redevelopment? The question of what to do with the Prora complex didn't immediately have a clear answer. Some suggested demolishing the site entirely, erasing any trace of its dark past, and starting fresh. One local politician, Udo Knapp, famously called it a Nazi monstrosity that needed to be torn down to let the island breathe again. However, the sheer scale of the building made demolition impractical. When the Soviet Red Army tried to destroy the site in 1945, they only managed to partially demolish a small section. The cost and effort of finishing the job were deemed too high, and the task was abandoned. In the 1990s, the German government granted Prora protected status, which made its demolition even less likely. The building was preserved for historical significance, but the question of how to make it relevant to the present remained unresolved. Redevelopment, a new era for Prora. By the mid-1990s, discussions about repurposing Prora emerged, aiming to retain its history while modernizing the site. In 1996, a proposal for a massive resort with hotels, restaurants, and a water park was introduced, but the scale proved too overwhelming. It wasn't until 2004 that progress began, with local authorities offering to sell the site in blocks, sparking interest from investors. In 2006, the first major project began, transforming part of the complex into the luxury hotel Prora Solid solitaire and private residences. Renovating the original structure posed challenges, as the small rooms designed for communal living had to be adapted. Developers converted the spaces into upscale apartments with sea views, but faced controversy over additions like balconies. After reviewing original blueprints, they were allowed to add minimal balconies, preserving the building's uniform facade. A modern destination with a complex past. As of today, Prora is a thriving destination. 3 out of the 5 remaining blocks have been completely renovated into hotels, apartments, cafes, and restaurants, and the remaining 2 are under refurbishment. But not everyone is on board with this transformation. Some locals and historians argue that the scale of tourism at Prora, once a place of totalitarian control, has been pushed too far. While some believe the complex's transformation is essential for healing and moving beyond its past, others feel that it overshadows the site's historical significance. The Documentation Zentrum Prora, a museum located on site, delves into the history of the building and its Nazi origins. Yet, it stands as one of the few remaining museums exploring the site's past amid a sea of hotels and restaurants. Katja Lucke, the chief historian at the museum, has expressed discomfort with the sheer scale of leisure developments at the site. For her, the history of Prora deserves more attention and preservation in the face of growing commercialization. Balancing history and development. The tension between Prora's past and its future continues to spark debate. For some, converting the building into a luxury resort is a form of reckoning with the past, a way of taking something dark and turning it into something that promotes joy, relaxation, and modern living. For others, there's a responsibility to never forget the building's origins and to preserve it as a reminder of the horrors of the Nazi regime. The conversation surrounding Prora mirrors broader discussions in Germany and across the world about how to deal with buildings and monuments that are tied to dark histories. Should we preserve them as they are and turn them into sites of reflection, or do we reimagine them for a new purpose, allowing for healing and growth while never forgetting the past? Lessons from Prora. Ultimately, the story of Prora is not just about a building, it's about how societies grapple with difficult histories. The tension between remembering and moving forward, between preserving the past and creating the future, is a delicate balance. In the case of Prora, it's still being written. As the complex continues to evolve, it serves as a reminder that how we interact with history shapes not only how we understand the past, but also how we build the future. In the end, whether we view Prora as a symbol of Nazi power or as a place where people can escape to enjoy the beauty of Rügen, it remains a powerful reminder of the complexity of history. For now, the site stands as a testament to both the horrors of the past and the possibilities of the future, an unlikely place where the past and the present collide in surprising ways. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Prora's fascinating history, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more thought-provoking stories. Let us know in the comments what you think about transforming historical sites into modern spaces. We love hearing your thoughts. Stay tuned for more content exploring the intersection of history and architecture. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to stay curious.